Привет всем, с вами я, Janey, и это How Janey Learned Russian. In today's video, remember that student we have in our class, and bless his heart, he loves Russian language so much, but he's just really struggling with some of the concepts. So today, you and I, together, are going to help him correct his mistakes. This is when you know the language, when you can hear somebody else making this mistake, and you can point it out, okay? I can honestly say my Russian improved 1000%. Like, that's not even an exaggeration. My Russian improved 1000% when I had to start teaching it. Holy crap. Not only did I need to know my stuff and I was studying like every night before my classes, but I realized, like, if you can't understand it, simply you don't understand it well enough, right? So I learned there's something so powerful in helping to correct other people's mistakes. So we're going to do that today together with our little bidnyashka. So by the way, bidnyashka in Russian means Бедняжка in Russian means like poor little thing. Oh, you какой бедняжка. Oh, бедня. So it's like you poor little thing, and it's yes. Oh, такой бедняжка. Right. So we're gonna go over to our cute little bедняжка. I had ChatGPT generate an image of him. I hope you guys get a kick out of it. So yeah, there's our bidnyashka. I had ChatGPT, make a cartoon of an American who loves Russian language, but all his mistakes, he makes a lot of mistakes. So that's what it came up with. So here we go. We're going to look at some of his mistakes, and we are going to help him along. Again, this is all based on my textbook that's available over on Patreon. Link is in the description. Please, please, please buy it on the website and not the app. Save yourself like $20, $25. I don't know why there's that discrepancy in pricing, but there is, and I hate people spending more money than they absolutely have to on something stupid like that. Like, again, don't do the app, do the website. And for those of you living in the United States, there is a hard copy option. I am sending lots of those out lately. Canada and Europe, email me. We might see what we can work out. I'd need to know kind of a price to work with. Canada's tricky right now with all the tariffs. Man, it's insane. Also, group classes are available. These are really great. This is a really great way to hold yourself accountable, to put everything into practice that you've been learning all chapter long. So here we go. This is on page 38 on our учебник, and this is based on at the beginning of the chapter, I give you a preview of me answering these questions so that it's like, you can go back you can listen to it and get a preview of everything you're going to be able to say at the end of the chapter. And then it's at the end of the chapter in the exam phase of the chapter, and you're going to go through and write and or say as much as you can on these topics. So Bidnyashka decided he's going to do it as well, but bless his little heart, he's struggling. So we're going to help him today, and when I read Bidnyashka's answers, I'm going to do it with a really horrific American accent, okay? So again, it might hurt your ears a little. So maybe just mute and look at the screen if it hurts your ears. Okay, so we asked Бедняжка, в каких странах вы были или жили? And then, bless his little heart, бедняжка, какой бедняжка. He says, я был на России, я живу в Америке. Okay, so pause the screen if you need to. Let's find his mistakes. It should be, я был в России. There is no reason for Россия to be a na. It's not a special geographical feature. It is a country, an independent country, a sovereign country. It gets a v, okay? So v, and then России. Россия gets those two e's, okay? So я был в России, and he lives. Я живу в, and then America needs to get a prepositional case ending, doesn't it? В Америке. So, я был на России. Oh, I didn't do a very good American accent. I'll do it better on the next one. So, it should be я был в России. Я живу в Америке. Все. Okay? Then I ask Бедняжка, вы играете на музыкальных инструментах? Если нет, на каком инструменте вы бы хотели хорошо играть? And then наш бедняжка говорит, я не играю инструменты. Я хочу играть балалайки. Okay, so pause your screen if you need to, see if you can find all of these mistakes, and then push play when you're ready to check to see if you caught all the mistakes. Okay? So, я не играю, it should be, in Russian, you play on an instrument. Я не играю на instrument, and I would accept here, я не играю на инструменте, I don't play an instrument, or I would also accept a plural, я не играю на инструментах, but I need the на, and I need prepositional endings on those. Then he says, я хочу играть, and this is very English. We want to go straight from играть straight into the instrument. And bless his heart, he knows he needs some sort of case here, but he forgot his na, so it doesn't make any sense. So it needs to say, я хочу играть на балалайке. Балалайке. There you go. So he was so close. He just left out his na. He was so close on that one because he did put his prepositional case ending on балалайка. Next one. В каких американских штатах вы были? В каком городе есть самая вкусная еда? Okay. So he says, okay, American accent. Я был только в Южных Штатах. This is really American. Я был только в Южных Штатах. Okay. Самая вкусная еда в мой городе. Самая вкусная еда в мой городе. Okay. So, pause your screen and see what you can find. Okay. So, молодец, бедняжечка, молодец. This is all correct. Я был только в Южных Штатах. In southern states, например, в Миссисипи, в Джорджии, в Алабаме, в Арканзасе, вот типа того, да? And then he says, самая вкусная еда в мой городе. Okay? Let's start with a nominative case problem here. Еда is feminine, and самый вкусный is masculine. Yeah? So he needs to change those up. He needs to say самая вкусная еда в, and then город is correct, but his мой needs to get prepositional case. В моем городе. В моем городе. Вот. Окей. Хорошо. Следующий. Расскажите о вашей первой работе и о вашей работе теперь. So, расскажите is a really great word. Tell me about о вашей первой работе и о вашей работе теперь. Okay, let's get our American accent going. Моя первая работа была на ресторане. Теперь я работаю на заводе. Okay, so моя первая работа была на ресторане. Теперь я работаю на заводе. Okay, see if you can find his mistakes. He's got not even just case mistakes, but he's got some wacky noun-verb mix-ups going on here. Okay, so it should be работа means a job, and it's feminine. So he's good. He's got моя первая, good job. But now suddenly he's saying a conjugated verb here, работаю, and this is super common in English speakers. They confuse the verb and the job. Actually, a lot of people are learning English confuse this as well. So like they'll say something like, I job at a factory. No, you can't say that. You have to say, I work at a factory. It's your job, right? So, работа is your job. Моя первая работа была. And then, ресторан is not an event. It's a location. It has a roof. You go in there. Yeah? So, в ресторане. So, it should be моя первая работа. No verb conjugation. Была в ресторане. Okay? Then he says, теперь я работаю. Now he's suddenly putting job into accusative case. Nope. Now, бедняжка, now you can say работаю. Now you can say that. Теперь я работаю. And then we didn't go over this in the book, but на заводе. Weirdly, a factory, is one of those ones that makes zero sense to put a na, but it is a na заводе, a factory. I don't know why. Maybe originally they were kind of more out in the open. But yes, на заводе, at the factory is how you say that. Okay, next question. Где вы бы хотели жить? Почему? Okay? So he says, "Я бы хотел жить в Сибири, может быть, в маленьком деревне или в лесе." Okay? Okay, pause the screen, see if you can find them. Okay, and also while you're at it, if you don't know how Siberia is written in Russian, take a moment to check because it really affects your conjugation. And not so you can't hear it so much in spoken speech, but it's going to affect the way you conjugate it. Okay, so it should be "Я бы хотел жить в Сибири." One E, because the original of Siberia is Sibir with a mягкий знак on the end, and it's a feminine, so Sibiri. Yeah? And that's very common for people to think that in Russian it's spelled the way we say it in English. No, in Russian it's Sibir. And this is especially important when we get into accusative case and you want to go to Siberia. Я хочу поехать в Сибирь. There is no Сибирью. There's no such thing. Yeah? Okay? Может быть в маленьком деревне или в лесе. Okay? Деревня is correct. But we really need to know the original gender of it in order to know what to do with the adjective. So деревня is the original. Oh, it's a feminine. В маленькой деревне. Или в лесе. You guys are experts now on the phrase in the forest, right? We've practiced it on multiple occasions now. So it should be в лесу, in the forest. It's an irregular U ending. Да, вот. Okay, очень хорошо. Next one. Расскажите о самом красивом месте, в котором вы когда-нибудь были. So tell me about the most beautiful place that you've ever been to or in. Okay, so we've got a different Amerikanец, бедняжка. He loves America, but he also loves Russian. Oh, я люблю русский язык. So he says, самое красивое место, где я был, это Россия. Я была в Москву. Okay? So this one's tricky. I mean, there's a mistake here that he made the mistake because it's a little bit more advanced to say в котором. But if he was smart, he would have listened to the way I phrased it and just plagiarized me. Just freaking plagiarized me. Just copy exactly what I just said. So say в котором. You are totally welcome to plagiarize that phrase. I just laid it out for you. Okay? So what he should have said. Let's look at место. Место is neuter. Okay? So our самый красивый need to also get in line and get neuter. Okay? Самое красивое место. And then this is fine. Где я был. Totally fine to talk like that at the beginning levels. But he could have just listened to how I said it. В котором, there you go, I just laid it out for you. В котором я был, это Россия. And that's fine, right? So, and notice my computer doesn't like to do the tire. It should be a long dash, but my computer doesn't automatically do it. So, is Russia. Correct, that's fine. And then let's look at this. Я был в Москву. Was Moskva one of those ones that got a weird U ending? I don't think so, because feminines can't get the weird U ending, right? And so it should just be Moskvе. Now, the word Moskvu does exist. It's accusative case of Moskva, and we'll learn all about that in next chapter. So again, a lot of these words, they do exist, but you're not saying what you think you're saying. So again, that's why it's very up to us to keep things straight in our head. Okay, next one. О чем вы бы хотели знать больше? О чем вы часто думаете? Okay, so about what would you want to know more? About what do you often think? Okay, he's about to make a mistake that all beginners make. Okay, he says, Я хочу знаю. Я хочу знаю. If I had a nickel for every time I corrected this mistake, I'd probably have $100. Okay, Я хочу знаю больше об русских и о них культурой. Oh, these are just so true. They're just very common mistakes, okay? So, я хочу знаю. You cannot conjugate two verbs in a row unless they are separated by a comma, okay? You cannot say я хочу кушаю. You cannot say я хочу изучаю. Unless you're listing off a whole bunch of things that you verb, right? So the next verb needs to be in the infinitive, which is a T, мягкий знак, like the majority of the time. So, я хочу знать больше. And then he went to об русских. Okay, so let's look at this об. We don't need a b there because there's no vowel in the next word. Okay, so that should just be a. And then he's doing something that students do all the time. He's confusing the endings of nouns and adjectives. So yes, ach exists, but it's for nouns. And we want ich for our adjectives. So о русских. Да, я хочу знать больше о русских и о них культурой. Okay, let's look at this phrase о них. What's wrong with it? Ich right here is a possessive. It's saying their culture, not about them. It's about their culture, in which case we do not insert the N. We do not insert the N. The N is only for pronouns. I hope you're starting to catch on like how the possessives versus the pronouns work. So ab, ich, and then kultura, they put an adjective ending on, they put a feminine adjective ending on the end of it. It should be je, культуре. Okay, so it should sound like this. Я хочу знать больше о русских и об их культуре. So we do, once we remove that N, then we have to put in a B, to go from a to ich. We can't go No, Russian doesn't like that. So we insert this b. Об их культуре. Wow, that one was really tricky. You're awesome if you caught all the mistakes. That one was really, really tricky. Хорошо, I hope you liked our бедняжка. Don't you just love him? He's so earnest. You know, я люблю русский язык. Yeah, я люблю. And bless his heart. And we're going to help him. And hopefully he will improve. But it is kind of fun to watch him struggle, don't you think? So, хорошо. Leave in the comments below if you've ever made any of those similar mistakes. Don't judge yourself. We're all learning together. We've all made those mistakes a million trillion times. So, хорошо. Это все на сегодня. Увидимся на следующем уроке. Пока-пока.